Hey everyone, how's it going? So if you saw that short video that I put up, it said how my truck, my Dodge Ram, my '05 Dodge Ram, the AC works fine while you're driving. It works good. I mean, it could be cooler. It's 52 degrees is what's coming out of the vent. 52 to 54. And when you come to a stop, it slowly starts to climb. Here I got a temperature gauge in the dash. It's up around 54-ish, I think. Anyway, when you come to a stop, the temperature will just start to creep up. Basically, the AC shuts down. But why? Why does that happen? Well, on this truck in particular, on the '05 Dodge Ram, with the 4.7, actually the 3.747 Hemi, doesn't matter. They have a weird setup. They have the radiator on one side and the condenser on the other. And the radiator is the one that has the shroud. The condenser doesn't have a shroud. The condenser has an electric fan. When the pressures in the AC system start to build up, the fan turns on because pressure equals heat. So you're getting heat in the condenser. The condenser getting hot, the fan should be turning on due to pressure. It doesn't read temperature, it reads pressure. It comes on and it cools down the condenser. Well, if the fan's not coming on, it'll never get cold, or it'll never cool it down. So the system basically winds up shutting down on you. So when it's cooler outside, it just naturally will cool it just from the cool air being around it. So, but on a warmer day like today, it should start heating up slowly. It's hanging out, and it'll slowly start to creep up. So why is the fan not coming on? I don't know. I've never checked it. I noticed it a couple days after I got it that it started doing that. And at first I thought, did I just imagine that happening? You know, and then all of a sudden I realized after a little while, yeah, it's happening more and more frequently. So the fan's obviously not coming on. 70 degrees is still a little on the cool side, so it's going to take a little while for this to actually happen. And right now it's still blowing cool, but it'll go warm. So do I have a bad fan? It's possible. Do I have a bad fuse? That's possible. Do I have a bad connection? Possible. Bad relay? It's possible. Bad PDC. What's a PDC? Power Distribution Center. Chrysler, the Power Distribution Center, basically like the underhood fuse block, that is its own module. It's its own computer. And yes, they do go bad. Now another weird thing that this truck does, and I'll make a separate video on that when I go to diagnose it, is when you turn the wipers on intermittent. If I turn it on intermittent and shut it off, the wipers will stop wherever I shut it off. But if I let it make a full sweep, then all of a sudden it'll start working on intermittent, and then all of a sudden it'll swipe 3 times. Then it'll sit there for a long time, not do anything. Then it'll start going and keep going and keep going and keep going, and all of a sudden stop intermittent. You know what I mean? But then low and high work fine. It's just that intermittent section. That could be a bad PDC also. So I'm leaning towards possibly a bad PDC. Hopefully not, because that can get a little complicated. All right, now the temperature's starting to come up. Just sitting here. Now, if this had a regular setup, like a regular car where you had the condenser in front of the radiator, me revving the engine up should make that temperature come down. But since it's not a regular setup, the temperature's going to keep creeping up. Eventually it's going to feel like I got heat on. And right now I don't feel any coolness at all. Another issue this truck has is the blend doors are broken. So when I select face, floor, defrost, whatever, it only partially moves. It's a known problem with these trucks. I'm going to order a kit to fix that, and that's going to be a completely separate video when I go to do that, because to do that, you got to take the dashboard out. But that will be coming. That will be something that I do. But yeah, so let's figure out what's going on. Let's go under the hood and see what it looks like. So here we go. There you see, there's the radiator. There's the shroud. And it's only for the radiator, so you get cool air coming through there. There's your condenser, a little dinky condenser. And there we have a fan that is not doing anything. And the compressor's turning on and off, but it can't cool, or it can't create coolness through the condenser, so it's never turning on. I mean, because the fan is never turning on. So here's the fuse relay center. And if you look at the chart that it gives you, at least Dodge gives you a chart. Ford doesn't give you a chart, they just give you numbers. This is the condenser fan relay. I know because I already looked. It looks fine. This one happens to be parking light relay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to swap relays. Oh, I can feel the relay energize when I do that. Yeah, I can feel it energize. But I do not have a cooling fan. So, do I not have power getting to the cooling fan? We're going to have to find that out. With the relay out, get yourself a test light. These things are cheap. You can get them at, this is a Harbor Freight one. Get them at Harbor Freight. They're $10 or less. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I want to say it was $8, $9, $10, something in that range. Anyway, a relay takes a main power or a high power, high draw situation, circuit, and basically switches it. It uses a low current to do it. Basically a low current trip to trip the larger switch. Basically, it's like turning a water faucet on. So, on a relay, you're going from usually 87 to 30 or 30 to 87. It's usually this wire to this wire is what's being tripped. This is the circuit that's being run. These two are for the actual tripping mechanism. Like if the computer's throwing it, or if you have a switch on a dashboard, you'll have power on one end, and you're usually controlling the ground. Sometimes you're controlling the power, but not always. So, we know that the relay is clicking. So, as you see, I got power there, which means I should have ground here. So, what you need to do is take that and hook that over there. I'll show you that in a second. So now, okay, here I got a main power here. Okay, so now this main power is going to go from this side to this side. Obviously, I got nothing right now because I have nothing there. So, I'm curious now. Do I have a ground here? Let's find out. Come over to the battery there. Make sure the test light lights. The clutch is off. It probably won't command the fan until the clutch is on. It's actually a couple hours later I got turned away or dragged away to do something else, and I kind of got taken away, and now I'm back on it. So let's wait till that clutch comes back on, because with the AC running, like I said, and without having a fan, it probably, or I know for a fact it won't work until, it won't command a fan until the clutch is on. Let me just make sure I actually have the AC on still. It should. Yeah, I still have it on. But now it's coming through warm. It'll take a while. It'll kick back on, but the pressure's going to be too high. Come on, baby. Now it's giving me fits. Hang on a second. Let me shut this thing down and restart it. All right, so there, it's running. There's your ground. So we know we have the ground signal from the PCM. So the fan should have turned on with the relay. Now, I take the relay and I plug it in. You're not going to hear it, but I can feel it. I can feel it clicking. So how do I know it's actually sending current across? Well, let's jump it. Oops. Got to do it the right way on the thing there. All right, so it is sending current across the relay. Now, let's say you're in a pinch. You don't have a test light. What do? I'll show you. Pretty simple. But you're going to need a light bulb. Get yourself a light bulb. Just wire it up. A couple of wires, that's all. Doesn't even have to be one of these. It could be a parking light bulb or something. So now, just pretend that's not even there. You don't have to, but pretend it's not even there. Just like it's not there right now. So there, go from there to there, and see, it lights up the bulb. Yeah. And then there too. And it'll work on the ground side too. So that's all good. So I got a funny feeling we have a bad fan motor. Let me disconnect the electric connection to the fan, and then let's jump that and see what happens. All right, so let me try to film this now. Still got the test light hooked up to the negative. I have the connector disconnected. And hopefully you can see this. I'm kind of doing this blindly. And as you see, it's lighting the test light. Now I'm going to go to the positive, and I'm going to go to the ground side. And as you see, I have ground. So I have a bad fan. So at least I know what the culprit is now. You know, the connector itself looks fine. Sorry about that. The connector itself looks fine. I'm not concerned about that. I'm reaching down and I'm plugging this thing in right now as we speak. And there again, I'm trying to do it blind. I'll get it. There it is. Okay. I don't want to leave it just dangling. So I know we need a condenser fan. Okay, that's fine. I can order one. Not a big deal. But at least I know why my AC was getting warm. And it's funny because if you're sitting there long enough, you actually got to roll the windows down because it'll actually start to fog up the windows. You'll actually get the heat from your body and everything else. It's weird how it happens, but it'll start to fog up the windows. So, but like I said, the AC actually works okay. It could use a little bit of a charge. It's a little bit low, I will admit that. But hey, now I know what's wrong with it, so I'm happy about that. So, and hey, you got to see how you could use just a light bulb. You don't need a test light, but you could use a light bulb and sections of wire to do what you need to do to figure out if you have powers and grounds and stuff like that. So I hope you got something out of that. I did, because now I know what's wrong with my truck. So, all right. If you could, hit that like button. If you could, please subscribe. If you could, tell your friends to subscribe. If you want to share my videos, go right ahead, share my videos. If you want to tell your friends to watch my videos, tell them to go ahead. Anyway, all right, so that's it. Have a great day. Keep wrenching.